For 6 months, someone saved my life. A mysterious donor who appeared when I had nothing left. Anonymous messages that came exactly when I needed them most. He called me Little Fighter. Made me believe I could change the world. I fell in love with him. My guardian angel. The only person who truly understood me. Then I agreed to meet him. And when that hotel room door opened, my entire world shattered. The man standing there? I knew him. I hated him. He was my enemy. The person trying to destroy everything I'd built. And the worst part? The look in his eyes told me he'd known exactly who I was this whole time. My name is Maya Chen, and 6 months ago, I was drowning. My startup, Ethical AI Technologies, was bleeding money. Investors were pulling out. My team was working for IOUs and hope. I was 3 weeks from bankruptcy and total failure. That's when the first donation appeared. $50,000. From an account labeled CS_Ventures. No name. No contact information. Just a message through our encrypted donor portal. Keep going, little fighter. The world needs what you're building. I stared at that message for 20 minutes. Who was this person? Why would they give money to a failing company with no guarantee of return? I typed back. Thank you. But who are you? The response came an hour later. Someone who believes in ethical technology. And in you. That was it. That was how it started. Over the next month, more donations came. Not huge amounts. 20,000 here, 30,000 there. Enough to keep us alive. Enough to keep fighting. And the messages continued. When I worked until 3 a.m. trying to fix a coding error, a message would appear. Rest. You can't save the world if you're exhausted. When a potential client rejected us, another message. Their loss. Someone smarter will see your value. When I posted about a breakthrough on our encrypted forum, he was the first to congratulate me. I started looking forward to his messages more than anything else in my day. My best friend Jenna noticed. You're smiling at your phone. Who is he? It's not like that. He's just someone who gets it. Gets me. Maya. You're falling for a man you've never met. I'm not falling for him. I'm just grateful. Liar. I was falling. Hard. 3 months in, his messages got more personal. What do you do when you're not saving the world, little fighter? I paint. Badly. It's therapeutic. I'd like to see your terrible painting someday. Only if you promise not to laugh. I promise nothing, but I'd still like to see them. My heart did this stupid flutter thing. This anonymous donor, this mystery man who believed in me, was flirting with me, and I was flirting back. For months in, we were talking every day. About everything. Technology, philosophy, stupid movies we loved, childhood dreams we'd abandoned. Why'd he stay anonymous? I asked one night. Long pause. Then, because if you knew who I was, everything would change. Maybe it would change for the better. I wish I could believe that. Something in that message felt heavy. Sad. Like he was carrying a secret that hurt. You can tell me anything, I typed. I promise I won't judge. You say that now, little fighter. But everyone has their limits. 5 months in, I was completely gone. I'd catch myself wondering what he looked like. What his voice sounded like. Whether he thought about me as much as I thought about him. Jenna was concerned. Maya, this is getting intense. You don't even know his real name. His name doesn't matter. I know who he is. He's kind. He's supportive. He believes in me when no one else does. And he could be a 60-year-old catfish. He's not. How do you know? I didn't. But somehow I was sure. Meanwhile, my professional life was a nightmare. There was this CEO, ruthless, powerful, everything I hated about the tech industry. His company had been trying to buy mine for months. Every board meeting, every investor call, his name came up like a curse. He's increased his offer to $15 million. Tell him to go to hell. I'd met him exactly once, at a tech conference 3 months ago. He approached me during the networking session. Tall. Stupidly handsome, in that way that felt weaponized. Dark hair, sharp jaw, cold eyes that assessed you like a balance sheet. Ms. Chun, I'd like to discuss a potential partnership. I'm not interested in partnerships with companies that have questionable ethics. His smile was ice. Questionable ethics. Interesting assessment from someone whose company is hemorrhaging money. I'd rather fail with my integrity intact than succeed by selling it. Noble. Also naive. When you're bankrupt in 6 months, remember I offered you a lifeboat. I walked away, furious. Hating him. Hating everything he represented. I went home and messaged my anonymous donor. Do you ever feel like the whole world is against you? His response came immediately. Every day. But then I remember why I'm fighting. And who I'm fighting for. Who are you fighting for? Right now? You. Your vision. The future you're trying to build. My heart melted. This man, this beautiful, invisible man, was fighting for me while that CEO was trying to destroy me. The contrast couldn't have been more obvious. 6 months in, everything changed. A message appeared from CS_Ventures. Little fighter, I think it's time we met. My heart stopped, then started racing at triple speed. Really? Really? If you want to. No pressure. But I'd like to finally meet the woman who's been keeping me up at night for half a year. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. When? Tomorrow night? 8 p.m.? Rosewood Hotel, downtown. The Rosewood. That was fancy. Presidential suite fancy. I'll be there. I'm nervous, little fighter. Me too. Whatever happens tomorrow, I want you to know, these 6 months have meant everything to me. I read that message 17 times before I could breathe properly. I was meeting him, my mystery donor, my guardian angel. The next day crawled by at torture speed. I changed outfits 6 times. Jenna helped with makeup. You're glowing, she said. I'm terrified. He's been perfect so far. I'm sure he'll be perfect in person too. I hope she was right. At 7:45 p.m., I stood outside the Rosewood Hotel, heart hammering. The lobby was all marble and gold, the kind of place where you felt underdressed no matter what you wore. I was about to head to the elevators when I saw someone familiar crossing the lobby. Him. That CEO. The one trying to buy my company. He was on his phone looking annoyed. Our eyes met for a split second. His jaw tightened. Then he looked away and kept walking. My stomach churned. Of course he'd be here. Rich people and their fancy hotels. I shook it off. I wasn't here for him. I was here for... My phone buzzed. CS_Ventures. I'm here. Presidential suite. Top floor. My hands were shaking as I got in the elevator. The ride up felt eternal. The hallway was quiet, elegant. I found the suite. Raised my hand to knock. The door opened before I could. And my entire world stopped. He stood in the doorway. The CEO. The man trying to destroy my company. The person I hated most in the world. My brain short-circuited. What are you doing here? He smiled. It wasn't his usual cold smile. It was soft. Almost nervous. Hello, little fighter. No. No, no, no. The words didn't make sense. Couldn't make sense. I stepped back. No. This is your... I was going to tell you tonight. That's why I asked you to meet me. My mystery donor. My guardian angel. The man who'd believed in me, encouraged me, made me feel seen for 6 months. Was him. The man trying to destroy my company. My enemy. This is a joke. Some kind of sick corporate espionage. Maya. Don't call me that. You don't get to. I couldn't breathe. The hallway was spinning. This whole time. You've been manipulating me. Getting close so you could, what? Find weaknesses? Sabotage me from the inside. That's not. I trusted you. My voice cracked. I told you things I've never told anyone. And you're him. You're the person I hate most in the world. Something flashed in his eyes. Pain. Regret. I know this is a shock. Please just come inside. Let me explain. Explain what? How you've been lying to me for 6 months. Inévalite. Everything I said was true. Your name is a lie. Your identity is a lie. Everything is a lie. I turned and ran. Ran down the hallway, jabbed the elevator. The meeting was torture. My board wanted to accept his offer. 25 million was more than we were worth, they argued. We'd all walk away wealthy. The employees would be absorbed into Sterling Industries with generous packages. And our mission? I asked. Ethical AI? Not exploiting user data? All of that just disappears. My board chair, Robert, sighed. Maya, we're running out of options. Without more funding. We have funding. We've been getting regular donations from CS_Ventures for months. Enough to stay operational. Cameron spoke for the first time. Those donations will stop. I looked at him. Why? Because, he said, meeting my eyes, the donor believes the company would be better served by a full acquisition. More resources, more stability, more ability to actually achieve its mission. How convenient. And I suppose this donor told you this personally? He did. Our eyes locked. The entire board looked between us, confused by the subtext they couldn't understand. This donor, I said slowly, seems very invested in what happens to my company. He is. Why? Cameron was quiet for a long moment. Then, because he believes in the founder, in her vision, her integrity, her refusal to compromise even when it would be easier. My heart was hammering. That's a lot of faith in someone he's never met. Oh, he's met her. Many times. In the ways that matter. The room was silent. My board was staring at us like we were speaking another language. Robert cleared his throat. Perhaps we should take a short recess. Miss Chun, Mr. Sterling, maybe you two need to discuss this privately? I wanted to refuse. But Cameron was already standing. Good idea. Maya? I followed him out of the conference room, hating that my hands were shaking. He led me to an empty office down the hall. Closed the door. The moment we were alone, the professional mask cracked. You look exhausted, he said quietly. Whose fault is that?
Mine.
Entirely mine. He ran a hand through his hair. Maya, I need to explain. There's nothing to explain. You lied. You manipulated me. You got close so you could, what? Make the acquisition easier? Find leverage. I got close because I wanted to know you. You knew who I was the whole time. I knew your name, your company, your reputation. I didn't know you. He stepped closer. The woman who paints badly but does it anyway because it brings her joy. The woman who works until 3 a.m. because she actually cares about making the world better. The woman who's terrified of failure but more terrified of compromising her values. I wanted to stay angry. Wanted to not feel this pull toward him. Why the anonymity? If you wanted to know me, why hide? Because you hate me, Maya. You've hated me since the day we met. If I'd approached you as myself, you never would have given me a chance. So you tricked me. I created an opportunity for us to connect without your preconceptions getting in the way. He was close now. Too close. And yes, it was selfish. Yes, I should have told you sooner. But Maya, everything I said to you is real. Every word. Every feeling. You're trying to buy my company. I'm trying to protect it. From what? From dying. His voice was rough. You have 3 weeks of operating capital left. Maybe 4. Your investors are gone. You're out of options. If I don't buy you, someone else will. And they won't care about your mission. They'll strip the valuable IP and trash the rest. And you're different? Yes. He said it simply.
Certainly.
I don't want your company for the IP. I want to give you the resources to actually succeed. To build what you've been trying to build without constantly fighting for survival. Under your control. Under our partnership. You'd maintain creative control. Your team stays intact. Your mission stays intact. You just get the funding and infrastructure to actually accomplish it. It sounded too good to be true. Why would you do that? Because someone needs to. Because what you're building matters. He paused. Because you matter. The air between us was electric. Dangerous. I can't trust you, I whispered. You lied to me for 6 months. I know. And I'll spend as long as it takes earning that trust back. He reached out, then stopped himself. But Maya, the business decision is separate from us. Your board is going to vote today. $25 million. Job security for everyone on your team. Resources to actually build your vision. Whether you forgive me or not, this is the right move for your company. And if I say no, then I walk away. The offer expires. And you figure out how to survive the next 3 weeks. His jaw clenched. But I'm begging you, don't let your anger at me destroy what you've built. Your team deserves better. He was right. God, I hated that he was right. I need time to think. You have until the end of the day. The board's voting at 5 p.m. He turned to leave. Stopped at the door. For what it's worth, Maya, these 6 months, getting to know you through those messages, it was the best thing that's happened to me in years. Even if you never speak to me again, I don't regret it.
He left.
I stood there, mind racing, heartbreaking, trying to figure out how to separate business from personal, logic from emotion, hate from something that felt dangerously close to its opposite. At 4:30 p.m., I called Jenna. What should I do? Honestly, accept the offer. It's the smart business move. Your team needs this. But you're in love with him and terrified that accepting means choosing him over yourself. My throat tightened. I'm not in love with him.
Maya.
You fell in love with who he is through those messages. And that person and Cameron Sterling are the same man. The question is, can you forgive him for hiding that from you? I don't know. Then figure it out. But don't punish your whole team, because you're scared. At 4:55 p.m., I walked back into the conference room. Cameron was there. My board was there. Everyone waiting. I've made my decision, I said. I know this is a shock. Please, just come inside. Let me explain. Explain what? How you've been lying to me for 6 months.
Invalid.
Everything I said was true. Your name is a lie. Your identity is a lie. Everything is a lie.
I turned and ran.
Ran down the hallway, jabbed the elevator button, couldn't wait, so I took the stairs. 10 flights of stairs in heels, half blind with tears. I heard him call after me. Maya, wait. I didn't wait. I couldn't. If I stopped moving, I'd shatter completely. I made it to the lobby. Outside. Into the cold night air. My phone was buzzing. Messages pouring in. Cameron Sterling. Please let me explain. Cameron Sterling. I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. Cameron Sterling. Maya, please. Just listen. I deleted the donor portal app. Blocked his number. Deleted every message we'd ever exchanged.
Gone.
All of it. Every word, every moment, every stupid feeling. At home, I collapsed on my couch and cried until I couldn't breathe. Jenna found me there an hour later. What happened? You were supposed to meet your mystery guy. She saw my face. Oh, honey. Was he awful? A creep? Worse. I could barely get the words out. He was Cameron Sterling. Jenna's mouth fell open. Your CEO nemesis? He's been CS_Ventures this whole time. He's been funding my company, talking to me every night, making me... I couldn't finish. Making me fall in love with him. That manipulative son of a... I need to call out sick tomorrow. I can't face the board meeting. I can't see him across a conference table and pretend. Hey. Jenna grabbed my shoulders. You're Maya Chen. You don't hide from anyone. Not even billionaire corporate sharks who catfish you. I'm not strong enough for this. Yes, you are. You're the strongest person I know. I wanted to believe her. But right then I felt like I was breaking into pieces. The next morning I called my assistant. Cancel all my meetings this week. Miss Chen, I can't. The board meeting with Sterling Industries is mandatory. The acquisition offer. Tell them I have food poisoning. The flu.
Anything.
Miss Chen. Please, Sarah. I can't face him. Long pause. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I spent the day in pajamas, eating ice cream, trying to convince myself it had all been manipulation. A strategy. He'd gotten close so he could destroy me better. That's what made sense. That's what fit the Cameron Sterling I knew. Ruthless. Calculating. Willing to do anything for a business advantage. But then why had he sounded so sad when I ran? Why had his voice cracked when he said, please? Stop, I told myself. Stop making excuses for him. My phone buzzed. A different number. Unknown. I know you blocked me. I understand why. I just need you to know. I never meant to hurt you. Everything I said was real. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I was a coward. Cameron. I stared at that message until the screen went dark. Then I threw my phone across the room. The next day, Sarah called. Miss Chun, I couldn't get you out of the meeting.
The board insists.
It's about the acquisition offer. They're considering accepting. My blood went cold. What? Sterling Industries increased their offer to $25 million. The board is voting tomorrow. They need you there. I wanted to scream. Of course he'd increased his offer. Of course. Now that he knew exactly how to manipulate the situation, how to...
Wait.
He'd been funding my company for 6 months.
Keeping us alive.
If he wanted to buy us, why keep us afloat? Why not let us die and buy the assets for pennies? It didn't make sense. Unless...
No.
I wasn't going there. I wasn't making excuses for him. The board meeting was at 10 a.m. I arrived at 9:55, hoping to avoid him. No such luck. He was already there, standing by the conference room windows, looking out at the city. He wore a navy suit, hands in pockets, shoulders tense. He must have heard me enter. He turned. Our eyes met. I saw everything in that moment. The dark circles under his eyes. The way his jaw clenched. The something that looked like hope and dread mixed together. Maya, he said quietly. Mr. Sterling. My voice was ice. Let's keep this professional. Something flashed across his face.
Pain.
But he nodded. Of course. The meeting was torture. My board wanted to accept his offer. 25 million was more than we were worth, they argued. We'd all walk away wealthy. The employees would be absorbed into Sterling Industries with generous packages. And our mission? I asked. Ethical AI? Not exploiting user data? All of that just disappears. My board chair, Robert, sighed. Maya, we're running out of options. Without more funding. We have funding. We've been getting regular donations from CS_Ventures for months. Enough to stay operational. Cameron spoke for the first time. Those donations will stop. I looked at him. Why? Because, he said, meeting my eyes, the donor believes the company would be better served by a full acquisition. More resources, more stability, more ability to actually achieve its mission. How convenient. And I suppose this donor told you this personally?
He did.
Our eyes locked. The entire board looked between us, confused by the subtext they couldn't understand. This donor, I said slowly, seems very invested in what happens to my company. He is. Why? Cameron was quiet for a long moment. Then, because he believes in the founder. In her vision. Her integrity. Her refusal to compromise even when it would be easier. My heart was hammering. That's a lot of faith in someone he's never met. Oh, he's met her. Many times. In the ways that matter. The room was silent. My board was staring at us like we were speaking another language. Robert cleared his throat. Perhaps we should take a short recess. Ms. Chen, Mr. Sterling, maybe you two need to discuss this privately? I wanted to refuse. But Cameron was already standing. Good idea. Maya? I followed him out of the conference room, hating that my hands were shaking. He led me to an empty office down the hall.
Close the door.
The moment we were alone, the professional mask cracked. You look exhausted, he said quietly. Whose fault is that?
Mine.
Entirely mine. He ran a hand through his hair. Maya, I need to explain. There's nothing to explain. You lied. You manipulated me. You got close, so you could what? Make the acquisition easier? Find leverage. I got close because I wanted to know you. You knew who I was the whole time. I knew your name, your company, your reputation. I didn't know you. He stepped closer. The woman who paints badly but does it anyway because it brings her joy. The woman who works until 3 a.m. because she actually cares about making the world better. The woman who's terrified of failure but more terrified of compromising her values. I wanted to stay angry. Wanted to not feel this pull toward him. Why the anonymity? If you wanted to know me, why hide?
Because you hate me, Maya.
You've hated me since the day we met. If I'd approached you as myself, you never would have given me a chance. So you tricked me. I created an opportunity for us to connect without your preconceptions getting in the way.
He was close now.
Too close. And yes, it was selfish. Yes, I should have told you sooner. But Maya, everything I said to you is real. Every word. Every feeling. You're trying to buy my company. I'm trying to protect it. From what? From dying. His voice was rough. You have 3 weeks of operating capital left. Maybe 4. Your investors are gone. You're out of options. If I don't buy you, someone else will. And they won't care about your mission. They'll strip the valuable IP and trash the rest. And you're different? Yes. He said it simply.
Certainly.
I don't want your company for the IP. I want to give you the resources to actually succeed. To build what you've been trying to build without constantly fighting for survival. Under your control. Under our partnership. You'd maintain creative control. Your team stays intact. Your mission stays intact. You just get the funding and infrastructure to actually accomplish it. It sounded too good to be true. Why would you do that? Because someone needs to. Because what you're building matters. He paused. Because you matter. The air between us was electric. Dangerous. I can't trust you, I whispered. You lied to me for 6 months. I know. And I'll spend as long as it takes earning that trust back. He reached out, then stopped himself. But Maya, the business decision is separate from us. Your board is going to vote today. $25 million. Job security for everyone on your team. Resources to actually build your vision. Whether you forgive me or not, this is the right move for your company. And if I say no, then I walk away. The offer expires. And you figure out how to survive the next 3 weeks. His jaw clenched. But I'm begging you, Don't let your anger at me destroy what you've built. Your team deserves better. He was right. God, I hated that he was right. I need time to think. You have until the end of the day. The board's voting at 5 p.m. He turned to leave. Stopped at the door. For what it's worth, Maya, these 6 months getting to know you through those messages, it was the best thing that's happened to me in years. Even if you never speak to me again, I don't regret it. He left. I stood there, mind racing, heartbreaking, trying to figure out how to separate business from personal, logic from emotion, hate from something that felt dangerously close to its opposite. At 4:30 p.m., I called Jenna. What should I do? Honestly, accept the offer. It's the smart business move. Your team needs this. But you're in love with him and terrified that accepting means choosing him over yourself. My throat tightened. I'm not in love with him.
Maya.
You fell in love with who he is through those messages. And that person and Cameron Sterling are the same man. The question is, can you forgive him for hiding that from you? I don't know. Then figure it out. But don't punish your whole team because you're scared. At 4:55 p.m., I walked back into the conference room. Cameron was there. My board was there. Everyone waiting. I've made my decision, I said. 4 weeks later, the West Coast Tech Summit hosted the industry's biggest event. And this year, both our companies were required to attend, together. Joint panel on the future of ethical AI. This is going to be a disaster, I told Jenna. Or, it'll be fine. You're both professionals. We were not fine. The panel was me, Cameron, and 3 other CEOs. We sat in a row, hundreds of people in the audience, cameras everywhere. The moderator asked about innovation in AI ethics. Cameron answered, "True innovation requires courage. It means choosing what's right over what's profitable, even when it's hard. Even when everyone tells you you're being naive." He wasn't looking at me, but I felt those words like a touch. Another question, about collaboration between competitors. My turn. Sometimes the people who challenge us the most are the ones who make us better, even when we don't want to admit it. Cameron's jaw tightened. The questions got more pointed. "Mr. Sterling, there are rumors your acquisition of ethical AI was more personal than professional. Any truth to that?" My stomach dropped. Cameron's expression didn't change. "My reasons for the acquisition are in the public record. Ethical AI represents the future of responsible technology. Supporting that future is both personal and professional for me." "And your relationship with Ms. Chen?" The room went silent. "Ms. Chen and I have a complicated history," Cameron said carefully. "I have profound respect for her vision, her integrity, and her unwillingness to compromise her values. She makes everyone around her want to be better. That's not personal. That's just truth."
Oh.
Oh no. My heart was hammering so hard, I was sure the microphone would pick it up. The moderator smiled like a shark. "Ms. Chen, any response?" Every camera turned to me. I could deny it, make a joke, change the subject. Instead, I heard myself say, "Mr. Sterling is the most frustrating person I've ever worked with. He's stubborn, infuriating, and far too smart for anyone's good. He also believed in me when no one else did. Saw value in what I was building when others saw only risk. And yes, our relationship is complicated. But complicated doesn't mean without value." Cameron was staring at me now. Really staring. The moderator was delighted. "Sounds like there's a deeper story there." "Thank you. That's all the time we have for this panel," the event coordinator interrupted, saving us from further interrogation. We filed off stage. Cameron caught my arm gently. "Maya." "Not here," I said. But I didn't pull away. The conference ended at 6 p.m. I was exhausted, emotionally wrung out, just wanted to get home. Of course, that's when the sky opened up. Not rain. A deluge. Biblical flooding. I stood under the conference center awning, watching water pour from the sky like someone had ripped open the clouds. My Uber app showed a 45-minute wait. "Great," I muttered. A familiar black car pulled up. The passenger window rolled down. "Cameron, get in." "I'm fine." "Maya, you'll be waiting for over an hour. Just get in the car." "I'd rather." Lightning cracked across the sky. Thunder shook the ground. "Get in the car," he said again. "Please." I got in the car. The interior smelled like leather and his cologne. The same cologne that had clung to his jacket that one time. "Stop it," I told myself. His driver pulled into traffic. Rain hammered the roof. Silence. So much silence. Finally, you really think I'm frustrating? I almost laughed. That's what you took from that answer? It was the first thing you said. You are frustrating. Because? Because you make everything complicated. You. I stopped myself. I what? You made me care about you twice. As two different people. And I don't know how to reconcile that. He was quiet for a long moment. They're not different people, Maya. It's just me. All of it is me. The ruthless CEO? The supportive anonymous donor? Those are the same person.
Yes.
I know that doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't. The Cameron Sterling I thought I knew was cold, calculating, willing to crush anyone who got in his way. But the man behind those messages was kind, supportive, someone who actually cared about making the world better. Those can't be the same person. Why not? The question stopped me. Because you've decided I have to be a villain? His voice was soft. Not accusing. Just tired. Maya, I've done ruthless things in business. I've made hard choices that hurt people. I'm not proud of all of it. But I'm also the person who believes in ethical technology. Who thinks people like you, people with actual integrity, are the only hope for this industry? I contain multitudes. Just like you do. I stared out the window, rain blurring the city lights into streaks of gold and red. You should have told me from the start, I said quietly. You're right. I should have. I was selfish. I wanted to know you without your hatred of me getting in the way. And by the time I realized how much you'd come to mean to me, I was terrified that telling you would destroy everything. It did destroy everything. Did it? He turned to look at me. Because from where I'm sitting, you're still fighting for your company. Your team is thriving. You're still changing the world. The only thing that's destroyed is us. And that's entirely my fault. There is no us, Cameron. There could have been. His voice cracked. Just slightly. There was for 6 months. Before you knew who I was. We had something real. My throat was tight. That wasn't real. It was messages. Fantasy. It was the most real thing I've had in 10 years. The car stopped. We were at my apartment. I should have left. Should have said goodnight. Walked away. Maintained the distance I'd insisted on. Instead, I turned to him. Did you mean it? What you said on the panel? About me making people want to be better? Every word. His eyes were intense in the dim car light. You make me want to be the man you thought you were talking to. The one from the messages. You make me want to actually deserve you. My heart was hammering. Cameron. I know. Professional only. You've made that clear. He looked away. Good night, Maya. I opened the car door. Rain immediately soaked my shoulder. Then I closed the door. Turned back to him. For the record, I don't hate you anymore. Hope flared in his eyes. You don't. I hate that I don't hate you. I hate that every time I see you, I remember those messages. That connection. I hate that I miss talking to you. And I really hate that you're what? This was it. The moment I admitted it or buried it forever. That I'm still in love with the man behind those messages. Even knowing he's you. Cameron stopped breathing. And that terrifies me, I continued, because I don't know how to trust you. Don't know if I'm seeing you clearly or just projecting the fantasy. He kissed me. 1 second we were 2 feet apart. The next his hand was in my hair and his mouth was on mine, and the world was exploding into sensation. I made a sound, surprise, relief, want, and kissed him back. It was desperate. Months of tension and denial and fighting what we both felt, all pouring out in this one moment. His other hand found my waist, pulled me closer. My phone rang, shrill and loud in the quiet car. We broke apart, breathing hard. I grabbed my phone. It's Sarah, my assistant. Emergency calls only, she knew that. I answered. Sarah? Miss Chun, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we have a problem. James from the board is calling an emergency meeting. He's found something in the Sterling acquisition contract. He thinks Cameron inserted a clause that gives him final say over all product decisions. He's convincing the others you've been manipulated. My blood went cold. I looked at Cameron. Did you? His face went white.
What? No.
Maya, I would never. There's an emergency board meeting in an hour, Sarah said. James is pushing for a vote to reverse the acquisition, claiming breach of trust. I'll be there. I hung up. Cameron was already pulling out his laptop. Maya, I swear to you, there's no clause like that. Someone's lying or there's been a... I need to go. Let me come with you. We'll figure this out.
No.
I pushed open the door. I need to handle this myself. Maya, please just listen. I'm done listening to you, Cameron. Every time I start to trust you, something like this happens. I'm done. I got out of the car and ran through the rain to my building, not looking back even when he called my name. Even though everything in me wanted to turn around. 1 hour later, I burst into the emergency board meeting soaking wet, furious, and heartbroken. James was already presenting, my board members looking grim. Clause 47.3, buried in the subsidiary agreements. It gives Sterling Industries final approval authority on all product development decisions that may impact company valuation. My stomach dropped. Let me see that. James slid the document across the table. I scanned it, my hands shaking. There it was. Black and white. This wasn't in the original contract, I said slowly. Which suggests it was added after you approved it, James said. Miss Chen, I know your relationship with Mr. Sterling is complicated. But this is exactly what we were afraid of. He's manipulated you into giving him complete control. I didn't approve this clause, I said, my voice steel. This is fraud. Or it's exactly what he intended all along. James looked at the board. I move we vote to reverse the acquisition on grounds of contract fraud and breach of fiduciary duty. My phone buzzed. Cameron. Maya, I'm looking at our filed contracts. That clause isn't in any version I signed. Someone altered the documents after filing. I showed James. Cameron says this clause wasn't in his version either.
Of course he says that.
Ms. Chen, you're too close to this. You're defending him without. I'm not defending anyone. I'm saying something is wrong here. I pulled out my laptop. Sarah, pull up the original contract files. Every version.
Now. She did.
We compared them side by side. The original agreement Cameron and I signed. The version filed with the SEC. The version James was holding. They were different. Someone altered the SEC filing after we submitted it. I breathed. This is.
My phone rang.
Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Then something made me pick up. Miss Chen. A woman's voice. This is Detective Sarah Martinez with the FBI's Corporate Fraud Division. We need to talk about your board member James Reeves. The room went silent. I'm putting you on speaker, I said. Miss Chen, we've been investigating Mr. Reeves for securities fraud. He's been altering acquisition documents for multiple companies, creating fake breach of contract scenarios, then shorting the stocks when the deals fall apart. We have evidence he did the same with your Sterling Industries contract. James went white. Then he bolted. He actually ran for the door. Security, Cameron Security, I realized, was waiting outside. They stopped him before he made it 5 steps. The next 20 minutes were chaos. FBI agents. Handcuffs. James screaming about lawyers. My board in complete shock. I stood there, numb, watching it unfold. My phone buzzed again. Cameron, are you okay? I stared at that message. He'd known. Somehow he'd known to have security there. To have the FBI ready. Me. How did you know? Cameron. I didn't. Not until an hour ago. But when your assistant called about James's accusations, something felt wrong. I've been in business long enough to recognize a setup. Made some calls. Turned out the FBI was already investigating him, just needed probable cause to move. I gave them probable cause. Me? You saved my company. Cameron. I saved our company. And I protected you. That's what I've been trying to do from the beginning, little fighter. Even when you hate me for it. My throat was tight. The room was clearing out. Board members leaving, still in shock. FBI taking James away. Robert approached me. Maya, I owe you an apology. We should have trusted your judgment. About Sterling. About Cameron. About all of it. It's okay. It's not. We let fear and prejudice cloud our judgment. Cameron Sterling may be ruthless in business, but he's been nothing but honorable with us. He paused. And for what it's worth, the way he looked at you during that panel today, that man is in love with you. I couldn't speak. Robert left. I stood alone in the conference room, rain still hammering the windows, my heart hammering just as hard. I pulled out my phone. Me. Where are you? Cameron. My office. Why? Me. Stay there. I'm coming over. Sterling Industries headquarters was mostly dark when I arrived. Security let me through. Of course they did. I was technically part of the company now. Cameron's office was on the top floor. Corner suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. I found him at his desk, tie loosened, jacket discarded, staring at his computer screen. He looked up when I entered, hope and wariness mixing in his expression. "Hi."
Hi, I said.
Silence. Then I started laughing.
Couldn't help it.
The absurdity of it all. The drama, the betrayal, the rain, the kiss, the FBI. "This is insane," I said. "Our entire relationship is insane." Cameron smiled slightly. "I prefer complicated." "How did you know?" "About James?" "I didn't, not for sure. But I've been doing this a long time. I know what corporate sabotage looks like. And I've been watching your board since the acquisition. James has been too eager to find problems, too ready to push for dissolution. It smelled wrong." "So, you called the FBI?" "I called a friend who called the FBI. Turns out they'd been building a case against him for months. Just needed him to make a move." I walked to the windows. The city stretched out below us, lights glittering in the rain. "You protected me," I said quietly. "Again. Always." I turned to look at him.
Why?
"Why do you care so much?" Cameron stood, walked over to me slowly, like he was approaching something fragile. "Do you remember the first message you ever sent?" "As CS_Ventures." I tried to remember. I think I said, "Who are you?" Before that. "The donor portal has a feature where companies can send thank you messages. You sent one. 2 sentences." He pulled out his phone, scrolled, showed me. "A message from 6 months ago, from me. Thank you for believing in us. In a world that values profit over people, it means everything to know someone still believes in doing the right thing." "That's when I knew," Cameron said softly. "I'd been watching your company for months, impressed by your tech. But that message, that's when I realized you weren't just building good technology. You were trying to build a better world. And I wanted to be part of that. Be part of you." My eyes were burning. "You fell in love with 2 sentences?" "I fell in love with the person behind them. Someone who still believes in right and wrong in an industry that's forgotten the difference. Someone who fights even when it's hopeless. Someone who—" He stopped, jaw clenching. "Someone who what?" "Someone who makes me wish I was better than I am."
Oh.
"Cameron, my voice broke. You've been trying to tell me this whole time. Through messages. Through actions. Through everything. And I've been so scared of being hurt, so scared of trusting you, that I couldn't see it. Maya. I'm sorry. For running. For not listening. For assuming the worst when you've done nothing but try to help me. You had every right to be angry. I lied about who I was. You were honest about who you are. The name didn't matter. The person behind the messages, that's who you really are. And I fell in love with that person." I stepped closer. "I fell in love with you." Cameron went very still. "Say that again." "I love you. Both versions. All versions. The ruthless CEO and the supportive donor and every complicated piece in between." "Maya, if you're saying this because of tonight, because I helped with James." "I'm saying it because I've been in love with you for months and I've been too stubborn and scared to admit it. I'm saying it because when I thought you betrayed me tonight, my first instinct wasn't anger. It was heartbreak. Because losing you would destroy me." "You're not going to lose me," he said roughly. "You couldn't if you tried. I'm yours, little fighter. I've been yours since that first donation." "Then prove it."
How?
I pulled him down and kissed him. Not desperate this time. Not interrupted. Just us, finally honest, finally together. He made a sound low in his throat and pulled me closer, one hand in my hair, the other at my waist. The kiss deepened, months of wanting and denial and fighting all dissolving into this. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. "I'm still mad you lied," I whispered against his mouth. "I know. And we have a lot to figure out." "I know. And if you ever hide something from me again, I won't."
I swear.
"No more secrets. No more hiding." He cupped my face. "Just us.
Honest.
Complicated." 1 week later, the tech press had a field day. CEO romance scandal rocks Silicon Valley. From rivals to lovers, the Cameron Sterling and Maya Chen story. Anonymous donor revealed as romantic interest, corporate espionage, or true love. Jenna read the headlines aloud over coffee. "You two are officially the most talked about couple in tech." "I hate it," I muttered. "You love it," Cameron said, appearing behind me to drop a kiss on my head. He'd started doing that. Casual touches. Public affection. like he was making up for 6 months of hiding. My team had been surprisingly okay with it. I mean, he's hot, my lead developer said. And he's been funding us for months. And he took down James. So, yeah, okay. We can work with this. Cameron's team was more skeptical, but warming up. Mr. Sterling seems different, his assistant confided. Happier. He actually smiled in a meeting yesterday. We didn't know his face could do that. We were figuring it out. The balance of personal and professional. The boundaries. The transparency. It wasn't perfect. We still argued about business decisions, about work-life balance, about his tendency to be overprotective and my tendency to be too independent. But we were honest. Finally, completely honest. Tell me something, I said one night, curled up on his couch. When did you know that you were in love with me? Cameron was quiet for a moment. Remember that message you sent at 2 a.m. about 3 months in? You just lost a major client. You were devastated. I remembered. I typed out this long, emotional message about feeling like a failure, like maybe everyone was right and I should just give up. You told me to keep fighting, I said softly. You sent back a single sentence. I'm not a quitter. Tomorrow I'll figure out a better way. And I just knew. You were never going to give up. Never going to compromise. Never going to be anyone but yourself. And I wanted to spend the rest of my life watching you change the world. My throat was tight. That's very romantic for a corporate shark. You make me romantic, little fighter. God, we're disgusting. Completely. He pulled me closer. I'm not sorry. Neither was I. My phone buzzed. A message in our old portal. Cameron had kept it active for nostalgia. CS_Ventures. How's my favorite CEO doing? I laughed and typed back, missing her anonymous donor. He was much more mysterious than her current boyfriend. CS_Ventures. Your current boyfriend is sitting right next to you and can hear you laughing. Me. My current boyfriend is also reading over my shoulder. Rude. He grinned and typed. I can go back to being mysterious. Disappear for 6 months. Send cryptic messages. Me ***, don't you dare. I just got you. I'm keeping you. CS_Ventures. Promise? Me. Promise. I put my phone down and kissed him. Long and sweet and real. When we pulled apart, he was looking at me with that expression. The one that made my heart skip. What? I asked. Just thinking about how lucky I am. That you gave me a second chance. That you saw past the corporate shark to the man underneath. You made it pretty hard to miss him. He kept saving my company. Our company. Our company, I agreed. And it was. Together, we were building something neither of us could have built alone. A company that was successful and ethical, profitable and principled. Everything I dreamed of, with the resources to actually achieve it. And more than that, we were building us. A relationship that was honest and complicated and absolutely worth fighting for. Hey, Cameron said softly. What are you thinking about? Just how insane this all is. 6 months ago, you were my enemy. My anonymous donor. 2 different people. And now you're just you, my partner, in business and in life, the man I love. He kissed me again and I felt it, that sense of rightness, of finally being exactly where I was supposed to be, with the man I'd fallen in love with twice, my anonymous donor, my rival CEO, my everything. 1 year later, Cameron and I stood on stage at the Tech Innovation Awards. Our company, officially renamed Ethical AI Sterling, had just won Most Impactful Startup of the Year. Any words for aspiring entrepreneurs? The host asked. I looked at Cameron. He looked at me. We smiled. Fight for what you believe in, I said. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. And be open to help from unexpected places, Cameron added, his hand finding mine. Sometimes your greatest ally is someone you thought was your enemy. Sometimes, I said, squeezing his hand, the person trying to buy your company is actually trying to save it. And sometimes, he finished, the anonymous donor is your soulmate. The audience laughed. We laughed. Because our story was absurd and complicated and absolutely true. And I wouldn't change a single thing. Not the rivalry. Not the deception. Not the heartbreak. Because all of it led us here. Together.